So, I have just finished my second day of the 19-day journey of studying intuitive anatomy through Theta Healing. Oh my goodness. Like, I have to share this with you. I meant to first finish because it's 5 days off, 2 days on, 5 days on, 2 days off, and 5 days on. And I thought I'm first going to finish the first 5 days and then I'm going to give you feedback. But my people, in 2 days, oh my goodness, like, oh my goodness, I have to share with you. So welcome to this video. My name is Adrian Nelson. I'm a life transformation guide. I'm a Theta Healing practitioner. And for those of you that have been following the journey with me so far, thank you so much. It's such a pleasure. It's such a joy. I'm so excited to share this with you. I just want to share it with everybody because it's so incredibly magical. So today I want to speak about intuitive anatomy. Now remember, this is only 2 days that I finished, all right? And in these 2 days my world has changed. My world has changed. My world has changed. And I know that I've been saying it in all the other videos, but Theta Healing is literally the gift that keeps on giving. It literally is. First of all, my client sessions are just, it is just beautiful. It is just mind-blowing. You know, as with just general quantum hypnotherapy, regression hypnosis, you know, that would take me like 3-4 hours before, maybe even 2 to 3 sessions before. My people, I'm telling you, 50 minutes, we're done. It's awesome. It is amazing. Really, it is. So I just want to show you a couple of books because, like me, you might be into books, and books are really cool because they carry real intention. You know, people write a book with an intention. So when you read the book, you tap into the intention. And that is also why I personally, you know, we live in a world where you can always get, like, you know, sort of like corrupt copies of PDFs and stuff online. But remember that we live in a universe that is governed by laws, cause and effect, karma. You know, you may just say, oh, you know what, that person has sold whatever, you know. So like for example, if you start with You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay, you know, the international bestseller, more than 30 million copies sold. So if I just download a free copy somewhere, that's nothing. Nothing is nothing. Nothing is nothing. Everything counts. Everything contributes. Every thought, every focus, it's important. If you want your life to change, you have to practice discernment. You have to focus. You have to be deliberately focused. You have to be disciplined. All right? Because you know, this is why a lot of times we go through this amazing, you know, which often they're really incredible weekend seminars and all those sort of things, retreats, and we come back and we feel very euphoric. But then afterwards, it's like you just sort of like, you know, you just fall flat again. I'm having a cup of coffee before my next client. So maybe make yourself a cup of coffee and tea as well while you listen to this, you know. Cheers to your health. Alrighty. Love my Java. Okay, so like many of you, you may have started with You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. You know, and I mean, this is such an amazing book. There is a reason why this book has sold more than 30 million copies. Hay House was basically pretty much built on this book. And it is a real labor of love. It is a labor of integrity. So do you see how far integrity can take you? You know, coming from true intention, morality, and respect. It's important. And I really believe that my intuitive anatomy journey started with this book. I do believe that. Now it's probably going to be in reverse because, you know, phones, I'm recording this on my phone and phones have that mirror thing, which I still haven't figured out. But I really do believe it started here. And this is a very good addition for you if you want to study intuitive anatomy. Now, everything you see in this book, it is, if this book impresses you, I'm telling you, intuitive anatomy, Theta Healing is like 1 billion times on top of that. And the incredible thing is that the founder of Theta Healing, Vianna Stibal, she is being published by Hay House as well. So, you know, it's a beautiful thing that keeps on growing. Again, so do you see how far and how beautiful morality can expand in this world? Now, I want to tell you a couple of things about my journey, but just before I do, just a very quick recap and just some tips here for you in how you can live your best life as well, okay? So, another powerful book for me has been The Kabbalion. And the Kabbalians, it speaks about Hermetism, and it speaks about the 7 laws of Hermetics. And I remember when I read the Kabbalion, now the Kabbalion can sort of blow your mind a little bit, and I actually incorporated it a little bit into one of my tarot courses, the 40 Days Tarot Journey, in which I sort of like, explain to you the concepts around tarot and the formulas and why it says what it says. And once you get the concepts, it's easy, then you don't have to learn everything like a parrot, you know. But whichever learning style you prefer, there's links for my courses down below in the description. All the couple of lessons in the beginning are free, so you can check them out. All right. There's a beautiful psychic development oracle course reading card as well, card, whatever. But so I wanted to know these 7 laws. They in the Kabbalion they don't really go into them that deeply. And the 7 sort of like planes of existence and stuff like that. And I said to the creator. Well, I would call it source of all. I was like, source of all, I want to know more. Please show me more. And then Theta Healing came to me. When you are ready, it will come to you. It is not a coincidence that you are watching this video. You've been looking for something. You've been longing for something. And I'm telling you, if you look for something and you long for something, as true as my name is Adrian Nelson, born on July 8, 1982 at 14:45, Tygerberg Hospital in Cape Town, via emergency cesarean, I am telling you, Theta Healing it won't just change your life. It will ignite your life. It brings you to life. It really, really does. So if you're in a space where you are feeling overwhelmed and lonely and sad, and it feels like your life has got no point and no direction, and maybe you're like me, and this is part of this beautiful thing that happened for me yesterday, where it was always so difficult for me to relate to the world. I kind of felt almost like an imposter in this world, and I've done a lot of wonderful teaching and coaching and lots of wonderful things, and I've been able to help many people through it, but I was still looking for that one aspect of me. And what I'm telling you next might sound familiar to you, because I would try to explain this to people. And people would come obviously with the bumper sort of sticker thing, because people like to romanticize things they don't understand. And they would be like, no, you see, the thing is, the reason why you don't fit in is because you're meant to stand out. And and yes, I do agree with that, because if you're meant to be a leader and you don't lead, it just, the cookie doesn't crumble the way the cookie's supposed to crumble. But I knew that there was more. And I found it yesterday. I'm going to tell you about it in a moment. I just want to show you. So in order to study intuitive anatomy, you have to study sort of like, I don't really know what it's called. I call it the 4 pillars, or the 4 foundations of Theta Healing. But and there's books about this available. And the wonderful thing about these books is that they tell you everything. Nothing is hidden from you. And that is what I love about Vianna Stibal as well. There's no immorality there. But I'm telling you, even though, because the book is like a training manual, so even though you go through a lot of the book in the coaching, and it's pretty much coaching of what's in the book, let me tell you, the coaching is next level. It is next level. It's the best gift that you can give yourself. And even if you just start with the basic DNA. Now, I've made a whole video about all 4 of these modules. You can go take a look at them. They're all in the Theta Healing playlist on my YouTube channel. All right. So this is the first one, Theta Healing. They are all, as I said, published by Hay House. So this is what the first one looks like. All right. And let me tell you, there is nothing basic about this basic training. It is incredible. It is incredible, because Theta Healing is a culmination of metaphysics and neuroscience, access bars, hypnotherapy, all kinds of whole really incredible things, NLP. It's a real beautiful culmination of these things, and your psychic ability just develops. You find this peace within yourself. It is a beautiful journey of self-realization. It is a beautiful journey of self-actualization into your own highest and greatest good. Finding yourself, discovering what is it that's holding you back. It is the best investment that you can make into yourself. And, even for me, when I started, now I'm not going to go into much into it, because I've made videos on all of this. And if you're really interested in my personal journey, then, you're more than welcome to go look at all of those videos and leave some comments, and, very exciting for me. But when Theta Healing came to me, nothing in my life really supported it. But the Creator said, Adrian, this is for you. And so I said, yes, I was rather scared. I didn't even know where I was going to live at the time. And I'm talking about like a month ago. I didn't know where I was going to live. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't have the money. I didn't know if I would have the time for it, the Wi-Fi, because I'm studying online with my incredible coach. Her name is Nia Nell. There's a link for her in the description. You can check it out. But when you say yes to life, life says yes to you. It really is true. I am living proof of that. You know? Have some more coffee. And I mean, literally, if I can do it, then you can do it. I came from so much fear. Like when I look at my life a month ago, like a month back, I almost can't even believe that that was me. It is just so bizarre, you know? But that version has brought me to this version, but it took faith and trust in the divine, in the creator of all that is. Okay? The next one is advanced Theta Healing. As you go through these things, they will just keep on blowing your mind more and more and more. And then you've got digging for belief, or in the Theta Healing is called dig deeper. So with Theta Healing, what we do is we're looking for the bottom belief or the key belief. So when you think of everything built, you know, and I explain this in other videos in more details, but when you think of your problems and your challenges and your fears and, you know, your feelings of sort of discontent and, you know, all those sort of things, imbalance in your life, that sort of things, you can think of it as all, Vianna explains it very beautifully. I think it's in the Digging for Beliefs book, this one. Okay. And of course, I make lots and lots of notes. You know, I love making notes, which you can't do with a PDF. Well, maybe you can, but I'm not that IT sort of like proficient. I'm very old school, you know. But what was I saying? I don't know. Anyway, so, and then the next one, oh, sorry. So with Theta Healing, we're digging for the bottom belief. So you've got all these blocks, and all these blocks are basically built on one block, and this is the foundational block. This is the what in regression hypnosis is called the core initiator. This is basically where everything stems from. So when you can come to this and you can change your beliefs around this, and as we work in Theta Healing, we work with the creator of the seventh plane, the creator of all that is, source, God, call it what you will. You know, there is no energy hitbacks that comes back. Okay. And I don't want you to feel that I'm knocking any practices or anything like that. I mean, I'm a Reiki master, I'm a crystal healer. You know, I've been working with the angelic realms for years. You know, we've always been quite close. I work with the fairy realms. I would do all of those things. And those things are beautiful. And even when you get into Hermetics, you work with the sixth plane, which is the laws of the universe. All right? But the seventh plane, where the creator that all that is, there is a pure God source energy. So when you work with that energy, there is no sort of like fair energy exchange that you need to do. Because when you work with all that is, what are you going to give all that is? You know, and of course there's the belief that, you know, when we work with source, that, you know, that you have to give something back, especially when you come from very traditional practices, you know, very dogmatic practices, very religious practices. But all of those practices are found in fifth plane dimension, or fifth plane, sorry, so there's many dimensions in a plane, but fifth plane consciousness, which is where our angels live, and our guides and our guardians and our ascended masters and our cosmic father and our cosmic mother, you know, and a lot of all these other things that we get, all the other plane consciousness is there, you know, even things like the Pleiadians and the Arcturians and Atlantis and a lot of those sort of things. Okay, it's not that cut and dry, but, you know, suffice it to say. So with those planes, there is still an energy exchange that has to take place. And if we don't understand exactly how to do that, then we can have some problems. We cause some imbalances which we experience as problems in our life. You know, you can become a magnet for negative energy to be drawn to you. Okay? So, but when you work through the seventh plane, then you don't have to adhere to those laws, because you're working through the seventh plane and not just with that plane in itself. Okay? So remember, if you are energy healer of whatever, you'll know that a lot of times that there are ceremonies and things that you need to do. You know, you need to cleanse and all of those type of things. Now, it doesn't mean that you don't have to do it with Theta Healing. Let me know in the comments what drink you are having. I'm having coffee. I like strong coffee. Strong coffee with no sugar and a little bit of hot milk. Just FYI. And then, oh my goodness, then we came to you and the Creator. Oh my goodness. And it was so incredible for me because I used to see this, this green part floating above my head, above my bed at night. And I didn't really know what it was. And so when I got the book, I saw the cover of the book. And I realized that this is what I've seen. You know, and as I'm working through this coaching, I'm just remembering things. And also, something which has been so incredible, I came to realize, well, I've always known, I've just always fought against it, that I am a highly ascended master, so from the 5th plane, that came into the 3rd plane by choice to help humanity. I just knew that. But I could never accept it. And through Theta Healing, I could accept it. And this is where this incredible... So I started to already get that through Dig Deeper and You and the Creator. Okay? And I've also spoken about a really powerful breakthrough that I made with Baby in the Womb healing. I think I made a video about Heart Song, or I meant to, but I did mention, I think I'm still meant to do it. But Heart Song, healing the broken soul. You know? All of those videos are available down there in the playlist. Have a look at them. They can really help you. Okay? And then... So with this 19-day journey of intuitive anatomy, there isn't a book, but it's, let me just gather my thoughts before I even start to tell you. But anyways, a very good companion to that book would be The Secret Language of Your Body by Ines Segal. Very, very good book. Very, very, very good book to have. And even You Can Heal Your Life. It's nice for like quick references and quick checks, because the thing is, our body is always speaking. And that is something that is really fascinating me, and I've always been very fascinated by, you know, being a medical intuitive. Okay. Now, of course, you still want to work in, you know, hand in hand with your medical practitioner and like, you know, your professional, qualified practitioner. You know, be it medical stuff, be it mental stuff, all of those sort of things. But the miracles that I've seen with this modality, like seriously. It's almost like words can't even summarize it. So let me tell you about my last 2 days, my journey of... Okay, actually, I just wanted to show you that. So this is my coach. She's also an incredible singer and songwriter. She's written this book called Life Simplified, a transformational book by Vianna. Very, very amazing book. Very amazing book. You know, so if you are looking for some things in life, you can see it's quite big print. It's a very simple, easy read, but so beautiful. Such a beautiful journey of enlightenment to just help you to get sort of like, you know, just in the flow of life. She also does really beautiful sort of like workshops. I went to a Life Simplified workshop, which was like a 1-day workshop. It was amazing. So highly recommend that if she does stuff like that, that you definitely consider it. Be it online, be it on person. Really, really cool. Okay, you get like a nice handout manual with it and everything. So, every day with intuitive anatomy, we do different things. So on the first day, we work with microbes. And I'm telling you, I have now some of you may also know that I'm an astrologist. And so with astrology, obviously you look at the planets that are rotating around the sun. You know, and how they impact us and sort of like energies, and you know, because we're part of quite a big melange. You know, we're part of a big soup, a big stew. So you know, you add a pinch of salt, yeah, it affects everything over there. You know, you add salt to the soup, it affects the carrots, that sort of thing. And that is pretty much the long and short of astrology. It's quite an in-depth and intricate long and short, but you know, that's basically the basis of it, as well as numerology. And of course, I'm a numerologist as well because I've been looking for answers, you know. But then we looked at, you know, you're kind of shown with like an atom, which is, or an atom, which is the, you know, there's very, very obviously small parts in your body, and we consist of trillions and trillions of atoms. That's what we consist of. And an atom has got all these particles that is basically rotating around the central sort of part. Okay, I'm not going to give you the technical terms because they're not important. But when you look at an atom, let's call it the anatomy of an atom, it's almost like it's got a central part, like a sun, and it's got these parts that are rotating around it in orbit, in very predictable orbit. And when you look at that, and you look at the universe with the sun and the planets rotating around the sun in orbit in a very predictable pattern, it's the same thing. I'm just going to let you sit with that for a moment. It's the same thing. You have universes inside of you. And yes, I've known this before and I've said this before, but it's like every time when you get it, you just get it more. And I've never gotten it quite exactly like that. I know there's this one gentleman, okay, now I forgot his name, Neil. Oh my goodness, Neil something. My friend sent me the link yesterday, I'm sorry. Neil something, I don't know, I'm sorry. But anyways, he does this amazing videos on that, okay? If any of you maybe know, then you're more than welcome to put in a link, please. He says, I think it's like, I don't really know, it's not quite easy to tell his age, but he's probably a little bit older. I would say like an older black man with like shortish hair. Yeah, it's his videos, it's really incredible. He seems to work with this other gentleman quite a lot. Okay, so if any of you know, please put it in the comments. Please put a link here for someone. Please put a link for me. But I have no idea, so if I go look it up, I'll find it. But so, which makes a person wonder if we are not just, like we are in this whole universe. And so this is why it's so important, the thoughts you think and the words you speak and what you focus on. Because your body is always listening. These universes don't see themselves as tiny little universes. They are universes. They are broad. Which makes you wonder, could we just be one atom in a broader body? That is not that unlikely when you think about it. Because these atoms, they see you as God. So when you say, I love my body, they hear that you love, that their God loves them. That is why your thoughts and your focus is so important. You have way more power than you realize. Just imagine what it would feel like if God comes down and God says to you, oh my goodness, you're doing so great. Imagine what that would be like. You would probably make videos like this all the time. You will have this huge spiritual awakening most likely. Imagine what it would feel like if God comes down and God says, oh, you're so gross, you're disgusting. How that would feel. You will feel that you've got no purpose and reason for being. But yet we do that to ourselves all the time. And it's really incredible also. And this is all just in the first day, to learn how mindset attracts certain things. Like how sort of like viruses and bacteria and fungus, in the same thing that your thoughts attract experiences, that's also part of it. That you are a match to the virus or the fungus or the bacteria or the yeast or whatever it is that's drawn to you. That is why certain people get sick from things and other people don't. When COVID was happening full blown, I was seeing clients all the time, easily 3 to 4 people per day. I would wear a mask when I went outside because, it was required. But I would say to people, when I can meet you at the gate, I will wear a mask. If you come to me, you're more than welcome to wear a mask. I had the sanitizing spray and everything, and like the hand thingy. I get a little bit like yesterday. I worked with some ammonia, so I don't know if you can see my fingertip sort of like got a little bit scratchy there. And even for that, and now that I think about it, I can download from the creator to change that. This is how powerful Theta Healing is. I can change that. I only think about it now, But the moment you know how something uncomfortable is serving you, and there's always a reason. There is a reason why your mind is holding on to things and creating the life that you have. Then you can change it. Really, honestly, you can. But I wouldn't wear a mask. And I didn't get COVID. I didn't get sick. I said, I'm not going to buy into this nonsense. You can gaslight away. I'm not going to fall for it. I don't buy into it. And because of it, it didn't affect me. you know. Somebody literally tried to pass the HIV virus on to me, like deliberately tried. I didn't get it. I didn't get it. That is how powerful your thoughts are. This is obviously somebody that I trusted. I didn't get it. I was once staying in an apartment with three other people, and two of them, actually, sorry, with three people, and two of them had TB to the point that they nearly died. I didn't get it. We lived in the same place, we used the same utensils. I took no precautions. Now, I'm not recommending that anybody else does this. I'm just saying that I didn't get it because my family, on my one side of the family, everybody gets cancer, everybody gets kidney stones. On the other side of the family, everybody gets diabetes. And I remember so clearly, I must have been about 20. I'm 42 now. I just said to myself, I don't have time for this nonsense. I hardly get a flu. Because somehow in my mind, at some point, I remember a very good friend of mine actually said this. Yes, I asked him, did you get a flu? He said to me, I don't have time for it. I said to him, that's a nice thing to say. And I would just say it. I didn't even think too much about it. Your thoughts are so powerful. You know? So powerful. And it's so amazing when you see how certain things can lead to certain illnesses. For example, fluoride in toothpaste doesn't just block your psychic connection. It can lead to Alzheimer's. And there's many of those examples. And then on the second day, oh my goodness, we did a skeletal system. Now, it has never crossed my mind to scan somebody's skeletal system. I scan the body, but more sort of like the energy and the intestines. It's just never really crossed my mind to scan the skeleton. The skeleton is amazing. It's got this really strong personality. It really, really speaks, and it's so amazing. So in class, we scan each other's skeletons. And it was amazing because, you know, they were also speaking about how they really determine your features, which is not something that I thought about, and I think it really, really makes sense because the skin is pretty much just, you know, if you want to call it like that, like a sail over your skeleton. But your skeleton determines your features predominantly. They've got real personality. They've got real pride. They really shine up when you look at them in the body, you know. And they're very proud. They like to be acknowledged, you know. And they are so intelligent. They've got all this knowledge going, and even get to see, like, for example, let's say you break a bone. There is a reason why, for example, in the first 10 minutes you don't feel pain because your brain numbs it in case you are in a situation where you need to defend yourself. That is why you don't feel pain. And all of the other things, why it swells, why it discolors, you know, why it becomes sensitive to touch. So that it's a way for you to prevent from hurting yourself more, how the body heals itself. It is amazing. It is beyond amazing how incredible your body is. And also some things that I got from the skeleton while we were just doing this scan, so I had all these realizations, is also that you know, the skeleton system doesn't actually really like it, for example, when you do things like plastic surgery. You know, so if maybe you've been having plastic surgery, be it cosmetic or, you know, be it like medical, your skeleton needs some healing from that. It carries some trauma and some stress from that. It is not very much in support of it, you know. Or if you want to go, it's a good idea to maybe have a session to speak to your body, to prepare the body for it. I mean, that's not something I would have thought of. And even it seems like the skeleton has got almost like this invisible force, so like where the abdominal area and things is where it can't protect you. So if the skeleton system picks up that maybe something will harm you, it will maybe give you a stomach cramp so that you can turn away. And when you turn away, there's the harder parts. You know what I mean? So if there's a blow, then it's where there's more protection. The skeleton is incredibly proud of itself. It is incredibly proud of itself. It is a network that keeps the network together, and it's very proud of itself. So a lot of times, when people come into practice with sort of bone problems, you know, it's got a lot to do with trust. You know, it's got a lot to do with trust. It's got a lot to do with God issues, not feeling supported. And so there's a reason why a lot of times when, you know, it's astounding when you realize this, why people with bone problems can be very stubborn. or even like resilient in a way that someone else might find offensive, because it's almost like you're disrespecting me. So a lot of those things are carried in the bones. It is really, really fascinating. Also, another thing, for example, that children, because children heal faster, twice as fast as adults, that is also why they kind of get scars easier, because the skin just heals really, really fast. But it is so fascinating. It is so beyond fascinating. And it's all with God issues and creator issues and all that sort of stuff. Okay? And, sorry. So, then we have these beautiful one-on-one sessions with each other. And this is the blessing of Theta Healing. It is the blessing of learning it. You develop so much within your personal capacity. So I had a session with another person in my class, and we kind of wanted to know, who am I at arms with, who am I unhappy with, and I discovered that I'm unhappy with God. I had my beef with the big guy, and very long story short, I've always felt there was almost like a 6% of me somewhere out there in the ethers. And what would happen is, well, first of all, and it's fascinating how soul family comes together, and ascended masters remembering who they are comes together in this coaching. So if you call to this coaching, there's a reason why you called, so check it out. And there's many teachers, but from personal experience, I can recommend my coach. She is exceptional. Link for her in the description. Okay? But so you have these soul fragments basically. So first of all, as I was saying with this other person in the class, same as me, she has reincarnated sort of like more times than other people will. Now this is something that I kind of discovered, I think, in Dig Deeper, and it puts a lot of strain on you. And you go through all these lifetimes. And also with you and the creator coaching, I realized that I had almost like this panic inside of me that humanity was running out of time. So instead of being here to support them, I almost wanted to be a dictator to them, which explains a lot of my actions in the past. So you really get to see yourself. And it's not always easy, but if you embrace it, it is the most empowering, enlightening, supporting thing ever. And beautiful miracles just happen. So after the first day, the very first day of intuitive anatomy, for those of you that are following these videos, I used to live in Cape Town, central Cape Town, and then I needed to move, and I needed to kind of get my head together, and then for 2 months I agreed to stay with a very good friend of mine, and I was sort of got into a bit of a panic state because I felt that time was running out. And then I had a beautiful session in this coaching. And then a friend of mine said to me, wouldn't you like to come and live in this place in South Africa, which is beautiful? Now, this is exactly what I wanted. It's on the country. It's a very spiritual community. There's lots of clientele there for me because I embrace online, but I really prefer in person. Okay? They're both beautiful, but I can do online, but I want to have at least one person a day or every 2 days. Beautiful space, beautiful cottage with a courtyard. And I can do with the courtyard whatever I want to. So I can put my fish tank in there, and I can put my crystals in there, and I can, do my tarot readings in there, and there's beautiful starry nights, and it just came to me the moment I surrendered by realizing what the fears I was holding on to. That is how powerful Theta Healing is, and that is why I'm saying that if you want your life to change, you have, now we heal in layers, but even if you have just one session, I've had people raving about it non-stop after one session because they are incredible. And I'm going to tell you not a word of a lie. I rock at this. I am excellent at it. That is not an egotistical thing because it's the creator that does the healing. Okay? I'm just a facilitator. All right? But so I had this session where I pulled these soul fragments of me back into this lifetime because I had this experience of always feeling lonely. Always, no matter what. And it is because I have stood in my full power in previous lifetimes, and that cookie didn't crumble very well for me. And if you take a look at how things ended for other ascended masters like Jesus, for example, things didn't go so well. You know, so there's a part in your brain that says, yes, you came here for a purpose, but, you know, things can go very sad very quickly here for you. You know what I mean? If you stand in your power. And when you think about it, you know, it's very easy to say in the Creator, well, are you comparing yourself to Jesus? Yes, why not? You should too, because we are all part of the same creation. You know, but it's not a game of comparatives or comparisons. You know, Jesus himself said, this you can do and more through my Father, through the Creator. Jesus wasn't fake about it. He didn't stutter, you know. But, of course, the key does come that you come from love and that you come from integrity. And it's not a, you know, look at me type of thing. That is sort of like the direct opposite approach that you want to, you know, that you want to take. But for the first time, literally yesterday, for the first time, I felt human, fully in this planet, in this dimension, here, now. It's a powerful thing. It was funny because my coach was like, look at Adrian, he's speechless. And, you know, he's never typically speechless. It is amazing. Your potential is so amazing. I want to give you a couple of tips for how you can. So I just want to show you a couple of things that I'm doing that's working for me. So I've got my little black book. So my little black book is all sorts of contacts and ideas. It's just basically, it's a take on the little black book. You know, things that I can do that are working well for me, realizations, miracles that happen. Basically keeping a record of stuff. Okay, very powerful. And then I've got my little book of affirmations. Bright yellow, because yellow, if you look at marketing, yellow is a color that stands out the most, and it just drew me in any case. You know, working with intention. And then I've got my book of happy thoughts lead to inspiring action. Year in year, I write all the things that I'm grateful about. So at night before I go to bed, I first connect to the Creator of all that is, and then I write down what I'm grateful for, what I'm thankful for, because there's so much to be thankful. You know, when you really start to look at your life. And the more you're grateful, the more you will get things to be grateful for. Your mind is a happy helper. It wants to keep you happy. You know? So give yourself the gift of yourself. I cannot wait to go more into this and to share with you. Today we're doing the endocrine system. And apparently with the endocrine system, there's a lot of emotions that are coming up, you know. So that's going to be quite interesting, because the thing is, and it's interesting, I got it especially with Dig Deeper. You've got so, you know, or me and everybody else as well, we've got so many genetic beliefs inside of us, inherited things from other lifetimes, that have an impact on our life, a negative impact on our life, and we're not aware of it. But if you become aware of it, you can do something about it. And this is the power of what Theta Healing gives you. So if you are interested in being happy and feeling fulfilled and living the life of your dreams and having everything that you want, you know, in the truth and perspective of the Creator of all that is, for your highest and greatest good, then I'm going to strongly encourage you to consider booking a session with me, because I'm telling you, these sessions are mind-blowing. They are mind-blowing. They will change your life forever if you are open to it, you know. I'm not interested in people that are going to come around and, oh, well, I don't really know, I'm just going to go test them. You can have doubt and fear. That's fine. That's normal. But if you are really interested in discovering your magic and expanding your magic and living your magic and benefiting from your magic, you know, your natural skills and talents, releasing the generational ties, the generational fears, then book a session. Or if you want to keep on being miserable, that's fine. That's your own free will. You can do that as well. And I'm not saying that as a selling technique or anything. I'm just saying, you know, it's your choice. But if you are really, really serious about changing your life, really serious, it will be my honor to support you. From my heart, namaste. Love and light, my beautiful cosmic siblings.